Hello everybody, welcome to another Thursday Scrap Your Scraps with Crafty Chris. Tonight we are going to work on a more male colored version of shapes again. Last week we did the hexagons. This week we're going to do squares, but we're going to do it with a little bit of a twist. So I went through my binder of small scraps, and what I tend to do is try to cut them in sort of within quarter-inch sizes. So I just went through and I pulled out one and 3/4 inch squares that I had previously cut in a number of different colors and some multi-patterns. So I've got my blues with a little boat on it because it's more masculine, some water paper, bold stripes. I've got some gingham or plaid or whatever you call that. This is gingham, I guess. And then just some random things. I've got some moths, some birds flying on a white, a little bit of grunge in there, some more grunge. Multicolored stripes, and I've got multicolored and not multicolored circles, pin dots, stars, things that kind of remind you of boy rather than girl. So I've stayed away from anything that's got a flowery pattern. The closest to flowery is this, and I'm not even sure if I'm going to actually use it. So the measurements of the squares we're going to be using are 1.25 inches, 3/4 across. And I hope that that is going to give us the actual amount that we need in order to pull off this. So I need 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that should be fine. So we're looking at 1.25 inches. If we need to cut them down, it would only be to 1.5 inches. So some of these are bigger than 1.25 inches because I like the pattern, but I don't know if I'm going to use them yet, so I want to play it out. I need 14 squares to complete the pattern, and then each of those squares I'm going to cut diagonally just to give you a sense of where we're going with this. So I am just going to take a second to organize these into piles of color, and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so I've kind of got this worked out. I need to have 14 squares, and I have to choose from style-wise. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 pieces. Now, I'm not going to use them all. They're groups, but I want to make sure that what I do use, I like. So one of the patterns I have is this kind of cool sort of weird geometric circle-y thing. So I'm going to start with that one, and now I'm going to look at my stripey bits, and this kind of coordinates, but it's not a green, it's a different color altogether. And I'm not liking that so much. Maybe we'll move into a little bit of that. Now this, I like the boats. I might use a few of these because I've got some really interesting textures in there. Let's look at yellow. This is kind of a smaller pattern, so that might work there. I like the dots on this. I might use something else in there. I only have this for purple, so I'm kind of stuck with that for purple. I try to do the color wheel if possible, and then some multicolored pieces thrown in. So I'm really liking the stars and stripes on that one. So I'm going to put that in there, and then I've got some red. Love this vivid red, but I also love the red gingham, so I'm not sure if that's the only one. And then I have some black and whites here. That's a little bold, so I think I might leave that for a different day. This is bold, but it's fun, and it kind of goes, there's like white and stark red. And then we'll see about the grunge. I'm not really sure about the grunge yet. Need to have a little bit of white in there, so I like the background on this. I like the background on that. And I like the grid on this one. So what do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I need one more. So I'm going to have to go looking through all the leftovers and see what is my favorite one to throw in there. So when I squint, I feel like I'm missing a color. I got green, red, yellow, blue, purple, orange. Yeah, I got them all. Okay. Alrighty. Throw in that one. Not really sure. So I'm just gonna, or do I throw in this one? This one's kind of fun. That has a little more life to it. I'm not gonna use that one. This, I think, is gonna be good so far. Let's see what else we have. Not really buying anything there. I do like the gingham, but again, it's neat to have a little bit of an organic thing in there. Paper is dark. Okay, so this is what I'm looking at in terms of papers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. This should be enough for me to do what I want to do. And I'll put my extras away later. So because we're working with small scraps that are already kind of cut into a squarish or rectangular shape, I'm going to use my small trimmer for this, my small guillotine, and I want to bring everything down to 3/4 of an inch, and this one is already 3/4 of an inch. I'm good there. This one is already 3/4 of an inch, so I'm good there. This is 2. Oh, that might be ready. 3/4 of an inch. Yep. So the rest I need to trim down a little bit. Yeah. Okay. So I'm just going to go through and line up all my bits, and I'm not going to keep these bits. Yes, you heard that right, because these are far too small. Anything that's under 1/4 inch is garbage, especially if it's short. So I'm just going to go through and I'm going to trim all of my pieces down to 3/4 of an inch, 1 3/4 of an inch, I should say. And that's already, okay. So I'm going to do that with my pieces and we will go on to the next step. Okay, so I've cut these all down to the 1 3/4 of an inch, and these are ready to go. And I had a few pieces that were off the larger pieces that I cut down that I still will keep because they're decent sized pieces and they will not go in the binder because they're too small. This is more mat size, like 1.5 inches and up. And, but they will go in my mini storage container where I have my little strips of color. And you've seen that before if you've been following my videos. So I'm just going to clear those out of the way. Now before we get to cutting these diagonally, I want to put a few lines on my page, and I'm going to use my white gel pen to do that. Now the thing about white gel pens is if they sit too long, they have a tendency to get a bit on the edge that's crusty and you can't really color with them. So you just want to make sure you got that crust off and you've got your ink started. And then you can take your ruler and we're going to start in, let's see, I don't want to go straight down the center. Hold on a second. Just drop something. All right, so I want to go about, whoops, that's something I didn't want. Okay, so I'm going to put my page in this frame so you can see what I'm doing. I am going to go off center. So this is center. So I'm going to just shift to the side about 1/2 inch. And I'm going to go from about I'm going to eyeball it and go from about maybe half an inch down from the top, and I'm going to let my pen just flow. So if it flows really well, that's great. If it goes scratchy, that's fine too. So I'm just going to make sure I got my pen started again, starting about a half an inch down, and I'm just going to let my pen roll right to that half an inch on the other side. So there's my first one. Now I know that these are from corner to corner. These are going to be pretty much the better part of 2 inches. So I'm going to make sure that I draw my next line 2 inches from the first line. So I'm just going to line myself on my cart here, or my mat, and I'm going to line up and draw 2 inches and do the same thing. So halfway, and it doesn't matter if it's exact. Oh, I like the way this came out with a little bit of variation. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? And then I'm going to do one more, 2 inches from that one. Whoops. Got to be careful not to get white on your ruler, because if you do, it will end up on your page. But that's okay. I don't mind it. It's boyish, right? It's not perfect wedding layout like quality. And so we're going to do another 2 inches. Try to line it up as best I can, about halfway down. And there we go. All right. So now I've got my lines on that side. I need to add 2 lines to this side at that 2-inch place. So I'm using my glass mat, which is a little trickier because it's got dimension to it. But you know what? This is not an exact science. We're good with whatever we get. Now, I don't have a lot of boys in my family. I do have sort of a quasi-nephew that's a friend's son, and my husband. But my family is predominantly girls, so this is why you see so many girly things and not so many boy things when you're looking at my stuff. Okay, and I'm going to draw another 2-inch line. Alrighty. Alright, so I'm just going to put the pen away for a moment and the ruler off my desk for a moment, and now we're going to let that just dry a little tiny bit, and we're going to go to, oh, sorry for the light there, blinding everybody. There we go. And now we're going to cut all these guys in diagonally in half. So I just put my points in on either side, line it up with the edge of my cutter, do the best I can, and I'm not going to worry too much if they're different. And I'm putting them in 2 different piles. So I'm just going to go through and trim these guys up. And then we'll go on to the next step. Okay, so I have my 2 piles of my sides of my can't even think of my words, my diagonal cuts, and I'm just going to spread these out a little bit because I want to see them all, because I'm going to try to figure out what looks good to be on the other side. So the other side is not going to be the same as the first side. Oops, that's not that. There we go. And I think that looks all right. So things with multicolors, the first thing I try to do is pick up one of the colors in there. And if I look at what I have here, let's see. We could actually put the circle there's quite a few that go with this. We could go with a more solid. I think I like this combination where we have the yellow and the green together. So let's do this. That's our first set. And then we're going to do the opposite. That's our second set. Okay, so that we have them inverted, but the same combination. Because if you put them all with all different color matches, and you know this is different in this grouping than that is in that grouping, tends to look a little bit too crazy and unplanned. So we want to try to keep a little bit of coordination in it. Now let's see, what do we have here? This, oh, I like that, really like that with the butterfly. Okay, so we're going to put that one there, and I'm going to find the other one, and we're going to put that one there. So do you see how I'm planning it out here? I'm just trying to get some coordinating colors so that they're not jumping out at your face. Now we have this one which is very powerful, so I want to bring that down a notch and either have the white or the black in it, and I don't have black anywhere here, so I'm either going to choose a white with a lot of pattern, or I'm going to choose a white with barely any pattern to neutralize that a little bit. So I'm not really sure which I want. I think I actually like that one better than this one. So we're just going to coordinate those two, and then I'm going to do the opposite on this side. So, you know, this is the tricky part about working with patterns, is getting them to work together. And if you play with patterns a lot and you get used to working with patterns, it becomes much easier because you just know that you need to, aggressive patterns, you need to simplify anything you match it with. If it's in a pattern form, picking up colors to bring and draw two pieces together, picking up colors from one and the other. You know, so the more practice you do, the much easier it becomes. Now this green, I saw this right away and I really love this. I love the green that's in here, and it really strikes me as a good match. So we're going to use that. So now I'm going to do the opposite. Doesn't matter where I put them, I'm just planning. All right. And then I have this really bold red, so I think I'm going to match that with the birds. So this is going to go here with the birds. I want them to fly in the right direction. There we go. So that brings that red down a little bit. And we have purple, and this is where we run into trouble, because at the end sometimes you have things that don't really go together. So I have that, and I have that, and I have that, and I have this. So, and sometimes you have to look at what's in it to try to pull it together. Now, can I work my boats with that? Let's see if I like it. And then that means these guys will go together. Like that. And like that. Yeah, I can live with that. I might have taken more time and done something, found something in my stash that's a little more connected colored wise, but you know what, it's not that offensive, so I'm not really going to worry about it. So these are my stacks. Now what I want to do is I want to think in terms of the all over look. I have two very prominent patterns in here, so I'm just going to pull them to the side for a moment and look at everything else. And I want to spread these out so they don't they're not side by side, if at all possible. So I want 3 across the top. So 1, 2, yeah, 3 across the top. So if I start with this guy, I'm going to put him on either side of that line about an inch from the top. We'll have to see how it all lays out. So that means this guy is going to go, let's put him somewhere. So he's not going to go there, so he's going to go down here. Let's try him down there. And then I'm going to play with that guy being in there. And I'm going to tighten this up. I'm just playing around a little bit. And this guy can go up here. Now, he's not my favorite. He's not bad. And then maybe he can go down here. Now, I could do this mathematically by making sure that, you know, every other so-and-so all lined up, but I don't think that's necessary. Purple and a blue here, purple and a blue there, and this has to get out of the way, but I'm going to have to separate the two. All right, so this is our beginnings. Now we have these very prominent patterns, so we're going to put one down at the bottom here, and let's switch this out and put this up at the top there. That means this guy, I'm going to move him up here. And it's just a matter of playing around a little until there's, okay, I'm going to put this one. Oh, wouldn't it be cool to put the red and the black together? Sorry, I'm just having a moment where red and black, red and black. You know what? I like that. That just went poof in my brain. Now, I think I may have more than I need, but that's okay. I can always have 2 leftovers. Now, this to me is not very powerful. So, I think I'm going to switch this over here and this into here. And I'm going to move this down here because that's pretty powerful. Put that guy there because I really want to anchor those corners. And I think I'll do the same up there. So these corners are now anchored. And this is fine here. All right. So there is the basic layout. Now we got to tighten things up. So I am going to put my first pieces 1/8 of an inch apart. So that means they're 1/16 of an inch from the actual line. So let me do that first, and it's going to be just above center. So I'm looking at putting my bottoms, let's see if I'm giving a measurement, putting my bottoms at the 5.5 mark, and that should shift me up. All right, so 5.5 mark, and where's my adhesive? So this is going to be the first piece. Try not to turn up the corners because it's very hard to get tape on the corners. There we go. And then now we're going to shift, put this beside it and line it up so that both tips end up the same distance and lined up to create that square shape. There. So there's my first one. Now, all these guys are going to shift 1/8 of an inch apart. So I'm going to start with the one slightly to the right. You can glue these if you want to use a glue. I don't mind, because I put these in page protectors. I don't really mind having them using a tape runner. So we're doing that 1/8 of an inch. Okay. And now and that 1/8 of an inch. And I think I got the other one just a little too wide. Let me adjust him slightly. Okay, there we go. Here's my second. Okay, now I'm going to work on this one. Remember which direction you have them in. So we're going to do that 1/8 of an inch between and 1/8 of an inch up. So that 1/8 of an inch going in that direction. And it's really more like a 1/16 of an inch towards the line. There we go. Oh, that's a little crooked. There we go. And we're going to stick these all down. Okay, so now these three are stuck down. I'm going to move this guy and give him that 1/8 of an inch from the top. So give him 1/8 of an inch from the other piece, and that's 1/16 of an inch from the line. There we go. Same on the other side. There we go. Okay, and you're just now working out from the center. So everything is going to be squeezed up inside. So it's not going to cover the whole page. You're going to have a fair amount of the page left untouched, but everything else is going to move inward. Alrighty, so then I will show you what the next step is once you've got everything glued down. Okay, so I have the center one set, and now I am going to make sure I set this one, and I'm going to give it that 1/16 of an inch from the top and align it along the line at a 1/16 of an inch. So this is 1/8 here and a 1/16 inch there. So I'm going to stick that down like that. Okay, now I'm going to center these pieces. So if I turn my paper slightly, it's a little easier to do. I'm going to try to center, aligning with the center point there across. So, and giving my 1/16 of an inch. So the space here and here is the same, with my 1/16 of an inch along the white line. So I'm pulling it in like that. Whoops, things are shifting. And then I'm going to line this up here. There we go. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this. So I stuck this down to play with it a little bit before I got on screen. So I'm just going to pop this up. So this one is going to have to get, oh, we'll do that after because we want to do the bottom one first. So let's do this side. So I'm going to turn it the other way now. and line it up with the center and the 1/16 of an inch. There we go. And doing this side, same way. There we go. Okay. Now I'm going to line this one, which was that one. Uh-oh. This one there, this one there. This one. Does that make sense? Yes. So I'm going to move you a little bit. So that's going to be moved down to 1/8 of an inch here. So I'm going to line that up, 1/8 of an inch down, 1/16 of an inch from the white line. Go. And make sure I have this aligned properly. There we go. Okay, now I can turn my page and align this guy, and it should end up with 1/8 of an inch between this one and the one we're just putting together now. And we're lining it up so that it's even, and 1/16 of an inch. There we go. All right. And so that process is going to be done again for, where are we here? 2, 3, 1, 2. So these ones are going to go in there in the same process, same amount of space in between, and then these are going to go off to the side, matching the space you have here. You're going to give that space on these ones on the outside edge. Okay, and then you're going to finish gluing them all together, and then we'll go on to the next step. Alrighty, so now everything is glued down and now we want to start to think about a mat. So I always use my mat pieces to figure out what size mat I want, and I just noticed I must have stuck my 4x6 somewhere because it's not on my ring. So I'm going to quickly make a 4x6 white mat so that I can see how it looks on. I make 2 of them, so I use them a lot. 4x6. So this is representing, oh, that paper wasn't 4x6. That's interesting. Okay, so there we go, 4x6. Just remember that. Oh, what have I got here? Whoa! That might work. Anyway, so in my little book of pieces, I have mats that I've pre-cut. Okay, some of them are larger than 4x6, some of them are 4x6. So if I've only done a 4x6, which I think that's what this is 4x6, yeah, then I would cut my picture down a little bit smaller. So here is a multi-page with a lot of white in the background that I could put my photo on top of. And I don't think it really shows up that well, so I think we're going to drop that one. And this one has red lettering, so it's not white. It's kind of off-white. You don't really see much of the red, so that's not the best option. And then here is a whole 4x6 of the boats. I'm really looking for just the color to see if that helps it stick off the page. And Let's move it over just a tad. It's mediocre. And then I have another one, which is snowflakes, but it's more the color that I'm looking at than whether it's snowflakes or not. So it's rather boring. And then I have my red, and as soon as I saw it, I thought this is probably going to be the one. Yeah, it's totally the one. All right, so now I have my mat. So my mat and my photo are going to go somewhere. So they could go on this side. They could go on this side. It doesn't matter where you put it. I think because I've shifted everything this way, this is going to be a left side page in my photo album. So I am going to have it sit somewhere about there. Now I need to find my decorations and bits, and I had you pull out some different shapes like stars and arrows and little words that say nice sentiments about a boy and how awesome he is, and to find a title as well. So we're going to move on to the next step in just a moment. I'm going to stick down my mat. And in my case, with the size of the paper I used and the colors and everything, I'm going to put it probably a ½ inch in, maybe a little more. Yeah, maybe a little more like that. So I lied. It's 2 inches in and 3 inches up. 2 inches in and about 3 inches up. All right. Okay. Now I'm going to put a title on, and that looks a little crooked. Can't tell if it's straight or crooked. I like my white mat better. Okay, we're going to assume that's straight, and I'm just going to put some, repositionable tape on the back of this so it gives me a good view of what I'm doing, so I don't sit there and wonder what it will look like. So here's my photo on my mat. There we go. So there's my entire page. Now, I decided that I am going to do a vellum title, but I don't like the way that it disappears when you put it on the paper. I guess that is supposed to be cool, but for me, that doesn't give me enough punch. So I'm going to take a little bit of leftover cardstock, a piece that hopefully will be long enough. And I'll take it off of this, I guess. And I'm just going to make it the width with a little bit of a margin. So looking at 1 3/4 inches by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 1/4. 1 1/4 by 5 1/4. Okay. So I'm going to need my bigger cutter because my cutter doesn't go that large. 1 1/4 by 5 1/4. So 1 1/4. There we go. And 5 1/4. Was it 1 1/4? Uh-oh. I think it should have been 1 3/4. Let me double check. It's better to measure twice, check once, right? Now I can't find my heading. Ah, there it is. Let's see if this will fit. It's a little tight. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to try that again. Oh, you know what? I think that'll be all right. I don't mind if it goes off the edge there. I'll cut that anyway. All right, so sticking down vellum is tricky. There's not many adhesives that are great for vellum. I don't even know if I have any vellum adhesive at the moment. do not. So I'm going to use glossy accents or some kind of a clear glue on the back. I'm going to trim it out after, but I'm first going to glue it down. So this is supposed to dry clear and absolutely invisible, so we're going to hope that that's the case. And you always have to get that glue going. I have this little neat clay tool that I use for everything. Okay, and I'm just going to draw dotted lines along the bottom in case it does show when it's dry, and then sort of random dots in here. Doesn't need a lot of hold, so I'm not worried about getting it to a place where it has to hold. Wow, I really measured that badly. So, no sweat. Okay, I'm just going to stick that on there like that. Let it dry for a minute or two, and then I'll trim it up. Actually, I don't want to wait. I'm going to take the glue that's off. It's over the edge. Actually, I don't really see. See a little bit, but not much. Alright, so I'm going to trim the ends right away. Make it thin. Okay. And then I'm just going to use my scissors to trim the other end, the sides. There we go. Use our garbage. And long scissors for long cuts. I'm just going to cut that right along the edge of the paper. There we go. Beautiful. It's easier to see the back. There we go. And those pieces of vellum are garbage. And so that's going to be my title, No Sweat. All right. It's probably going to go over the bottom a little bit. Now, I've got a bunch of different tags and things, but I think I want to put down a couple of words. Just some very light words, script, sticky script words. If I can find the opening for this. There we go. Now these colors are kind of weird, and they kind of go starting to get old, so the actual adhesive is going a bit yellow in the center, but it should be okay for this project. So I was thinking I could put the word fun up there, and I'm going to cut out sweet. And the butterfly that's with it. Just little, there we go, something like that. And then I have a couple of other layering bits I can use. So I have some vellum stars that I can just put randomly. Fill up a little bit of space, maybe do a collection of stars. So this is the outside of a star that I saved, a sticker star, and I simply trim it down and it becomes an outline of a star. And it's pretty quick. There we go. Now I've let all my junks go on my page. So I could put a couple of these together in a corner. I don't know where that other piece, there it is. Okay, a couple of pieces of this in a corner. I have a green star. I'm going to take it off so I can see it better. I don't want to put it with green, but it could probably stay over there. And a little piece of a wood star. And then I have little rub-on stars, which I can scatter. So that's a scattery thing. I have a couple of white arrows, which I want to color. And I'm going to color them in bright and funky colors. So let's get the purple out. We don't have a lot of purple, so it'd be nice to kind of pull that out. Maybe a lime green to match this, and let's see, maybe an orange. There we go. So I'm just going to take my marker and completely color this orange. And I've got another one, I think, a larger one, and I'm going to make that one purple. There we go. And it's kind of a lilac-y purple. Maybe not what I was looking for, but make it a little darker by adding multiple layers. There we go. And then so I have some wooden pieces. This wood piece, I think I'm going to try and make it green. I don't mind that it's wood, but I also want it to be a color of stained wood. So there we go. Got a couple of different colors. And let's do, what do we have? I don't want to do pink. I don't want to, no, those are, oh, maybe red. Do a red one. This one is not wood. It is chipboard. So the red is going to be a little deeper colored. It's not going to be bright chipper red, but that's okay. There we go. I could put that up somewhere. Figure it out when I get them all on. And then, as I said, I don't really have boy things. I have mostly girl things, but I did find a tag that says love and boy, and I thought I might just kind of tuck that somewhere up there, but I'm going to edge them. So maybe I'll edge them in orange. I'm going to edge it in orange, so I'm going to take my marker again and just go randomly around the edge. Actually, I'll do it on my board here so it's easier. Here we go, that's a little more controlled. There we go. And now I have to make sure I get the marker off my board because I don't want it to get on everything. There we go. All right, and so we got Love Boy, or Boy Love. Boy Love, that sounds better. So we got Boy Love up there. And these arrows, I'm going to pull them off. They're sticky. And just lay them in a couple of places. Whoop. And we'll have an arrow maybe down here coming off of our title. There we go. No sweat. What else do I have? I have upside down arrows, so I can add that to fun. I have to color it. Here's another arrow saying sweet. And then I have a large vellum. Which side is up? Which can go up there maybe. And don't think I need that one. I got these puffy accents that I can put, and they are also stars. So stars and arrows are the two things I focused the most on when I was looking through my stuff. All right, let's put a star up there. And best day ever, I can put that there. It's just a little thing to add some more words. I don't know that I need blue skies. Yeah, don't need blue skies. So I'll put that to the side. Amazing. Doesn't really follow the color, but I could change the color. Let's see. I'll think about that one. So good. Actually, I think maybe I'll put this orange up here. And then this so good can be with that. Something like that. Life is a blank canvas. Now this I don't think I'm going to add because it's too close to the shape that we're using. We'll see if these work. And this, oh, there's another vellum star. And he said, I don't think I really need that. Okay, so that's pretty much everything I pulled out, with the exception of a few things. So let's get this stuck down. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a picture so that I have a basic idea in my head. And I don't seem to have my phone. Where is my phone? Ah, there's my phone. All right. So I'm going to take a picture just so that I can, oops, how about turning it this way, Chris, and then you can see what you're doing. So I can see sort of what I've done. Okay, and it comes through as not very focused because it's film on film, but it's focused for me. And I'm just going to turn it around. As soon as I find it, there it is. Turn it around. And there it is. Just focus in. And now I have it on my phone so I can look at it when I need it. Oh, goodness, Chris is having hard times with her phone. Okay. There we are. Okay. So I'm going to start sticking all this down. Once you've got yours the way you like it, you can stick yours down. Now I'm only putting adhesive on the bottom of this because I know I'm going to be slipping a photo underneath. So I want to keep it unstuck, if there is such a word. So I will just put the adhesive across the bottom, and I want to pull it between. So I'm trying to line that up so it looks kind of even. Alrighty. This I think I'm going to recolor. Best day ever. I can put on now. Best day ever. There we go. And I can still slip my picture under there. I'm going to just stick these guys down, and again I'm going to use that glue that seemed to be good for a vellum, and I'm going to figure out which is the right side, and put a little dot in it. So this is going to go up like that. This is going to go like this. And I need a little bit of glue on. Oh, no, that's a sticker. So that works out just fine. A little overlapping happening there. This guy is going to have to be straight. And it looks kind of good. There we go. Just stick it down. If he's a little off, that's fine. This one I'm going to take away a little bit of the border because it's just a little too much of that beige happening there. And I'm just going to leave a small amount so it pops a bit. But that's it. So it's going to be like this. Get some adhesive on there. And put that just over top of the, and hopefully that is straight. Oh, no, that doesn't look straight. There we go. And I forgot my purple is going to go on the edge here. There we go. I might put some, what do you call it? Glossy accents or something on that. This little arrow, I've got orange. I'd probably make a green arrow out of this one. Alright, make sure it's all arrowed up. It's so small I can't really make a full stroke with my marker. Just marked that up. And this is sweet with a butterfly. So I'm going to put the butterfly on last. And these sometimes get brittle. So you just want to be, excuse me, careful. So there is sweet. I wanted that T to kind of go across there. There we go. And the butterfly is going to go in here. And the arrow is going to get a little bit of glue. There we go. Where are we here? So we need a little bit more glue on here. Seems to show up more on dark paper when you use glue. But we'll see what happens when it's all done. Some of these stars I might put some Wink of Stella on. Oh. So hopefully those will dry. Because I just made a boo-boo. Okay, now we're going to put the word fun there. And I like the way that F jumps in there. And it's more or less straight. So we're just going to let it stay where it is. These are bits of garbage. And the sticker I had over here. And the arrow, we're going to change the color of the arrow. Let's see. We'll do a little more purple. A couple of layers of purple. I'm just coloring it off screen. Making that little half corner or right hand turn, whatever you want to call it. Oh, I did it backwards. Oh, that's all right. It'll work. I could do the back, but I'm not worried about it. Okay. There we go. I actually think I might just put it right down the center of that line. There we go. And a little bit, whoops, on my finger. And now we're going to peel this guy off. Got to be gentle with these guys because sometimes they break if you have very thin. So this is going to go like that. And then we have a little bit of glue on the back of this one. Whoop. Just flew away. Where did it go? Oh my gosh, it's so tiny. Where did you go, little star? Okay, you know what? I'll have to find another star for there. Maybe I'll just use one of these guys. And now I'm going to put some twinkle in the sky because I think everything else has now been stuck down. And we just have some rub-ons to do. Well, I don't know what you use, but I have a little rub-on tool. It's ancient. I don't think you can get them anymore. And we'll see if this actually works. So a few little star bitties here. No, I don't think they're going to work. So I'm actually going to have to probably pull out. Yeah, they're not working. I'm going to have to pull out some of my sparkles. I want to recolor this. I think I'm going to do this either, yeah, in a reddish color. It's going to go darker red. Let's see. There's my red. Just take me a second to get all my colors here. All right, so now I am just going to color this guy red. And you know what? I'm going to get a paint kind of brush. And I think I'm going to do vermilion so that it goes kind of an orangey red. There we go. Okay, and I'm doing long strokes. And if you have good pen, you'll notice that it blends together and you don't really see the strokes so much. So the idea is to go back and forth, adding layers of color and trying to keep it even. There we go. All right, like that much better. Now I need to wipe up my ink. Oh, there it is, because I don't want to get that on everything. Okay. Alrighty. So there we go. And I think we're going to pop dot him. This little tip I'm not enjoying very much. There we go. Pop dots for this one. Just happen to have black pot dots. Dark paper works out fine. And I only need 3. It's not seeing heavy action. And I'm going to put amazing. And I definitely need to have some little bits of bling here. So I'm just going to follow up with some shiny dots. I have a few different bitty bits here. Some red, some green, and I have more of these, but some, what do you call it, silver. So I'm going to use my, oh, there they are. I'm going to use my handy dandy and I'm just going to start off putting a few here, there, and everywhere. Try to keep it in odd numbers. So I'm just adding little bits of sparkle. I didn't want to get too big on the sparkle because it is a boy's page. Now sometimes these stick, so you have to drag them across the plastic bits. There we go. And maybe one up there. And let's see. Don't want to have too much of this, but a little bit is kind of a nice. Put that right on the butterfly because I'm crazy that way. There we go. Maybe one here. And I'll keep those. I may use them again. I've got my little red dots. So add a couple of those in. Just randomly. Oops. There we go. In threes. Or odd numbers. Threes and fives. I might need some white ones there. Just to give a little bit of sparkle. Get that out of there because that's not working anymore, so they're garbage. Whoop, there we go. Don't want that too close. There we go. Alrighty. Looking at my page, does that kind of bring it in? Yeah, a little bit. Alrighty. Now, it's also good to put the odd sparkle onto the odd square to tie in the square. So here's some more sparkle. Sometimes I just do one. It's very busy, but it'll catch the light. Groups of three. I feel like something has to go out here. And out here. Oh, wow, that one went flying. I have no idea where it went. Well, just a little bit down there. Maybe one just up there. Maybe one just up there. And I think I need one here. So I'm just like literally finishing off. Oh, I forgot to stick my boys down. Boy love. So let me get that down. I'm going to stick the bottom edge of both pieces with flat adhesive, and I'm going to put a pop dot at the top of each of the others so that it pops off the page. And oh, there we go. There we go. So we have That one going down there. So it just lifts it a bit off the page. And that one going up there. Boy love. There we go. And I think I'll stick a shiny little dot on that one. But leave the other one plain. All right. Greens. Let's see. Maybe one green here. I think I'll just leave that one. And I think we're pretty much done. A little bit of glitter. Take that away. Maybe just to add a bit of red there. Leave that one plain. There we go. I could do this all day. I mean, really, I could glitter this up far more. But there you have it. There is your one-page triangle background for a boy. Thank you very much for joining me, and I hope I will see you next week. Bye.